morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the top stories this hour. China and Nepal on same page regarding improving trilateral relations. India's participation uncertain. South Korean President Moon says North has dropped its long-held demand that the United States withdraw forces from South Korea in exchange for denuclearization. And Spanish giants Barcelona one win away from 25th Spanish league title after Atletico Madrid lost at Real Sociedad 3-0. All domestic and international flights from Tribhuvan International Airport have been halted temporarily following a minor incident last night that involved Malaysian Malindo Air, which was bound for Kuala Lumpur from Kathmandu. Malindo's flight was about to take off at 9:45 p.m. yesterday when problems arose in its front wheels, resulting in the plane to skid off the runway. Ambulances, firefighters and security team had immediately reached the site after the incident. The administration of Tribhuvan International Airport has said all passenger and crew were safe. They further said the airplane is being moved in order to resume the operation as well. Let us now move on to the latest national political updates. The trilateral relations between Nepal, India and China has come under debate once again following the announcements made at the joint press conference held on Wednesday by Foreign Minister Pradeep Gyawali and his China's counterpart Wang Yi. A similar scenario had last emerged about 9 years ago when the then Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal visited China for the first time. The remarks and announcements made by Foreign Minister Gyawali and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi seemed encouraging on improving the trilateral relations between Nepal, China and India. In discussions held earlier, Minister Gyawali had expressed interest in the construction of a cross-mountain transportation network that would connect Nepal with China. China had welcomed the idea and had suggested incorporating the plan in the Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) project, taking it as a chance to improve its own trilateral relations as well. However, despite China and Nepal being enthusiastic about moving ahead in improving their trilateral relations, the fact that India has not been a part of the discussions yet makes the plan seem limited to talks. Indian policymakers have also been interpreting China's attempts as a strategy to enter the South Asian market. India, that wants to keep Nepal under its wings and is unwelcoming of China's influence, seems least interested in the trilateral coordination plans and the BRI project. Now, the Constitution of Nepal has provision to make the required budget and human resources available in the judiciary to evade instance of influence from other organizations or officials. The officials in the judiciary are provided with 50% encouragement allowance in salary and are even facilitated with government vehicles. Despite these provisions, there is a strong nexus of foreign aid companies and other non-governmental organizations in the sector. At least 2.4 billion rupees have been spent in the name of strengthening the rule of law and human rights protection system in Nepal program. There are records of expenditure at the rate of 50 million rupees annually by UNDP with aids from several bodies of the United Nations and the Norwegian government in a program which sees the Registrar of the Supreme Court as the project director. A report shows that the expenditure of any justice's foreign visit, trainings of decision writing, implementation of decision, among others, are done through the project. Questions have been therefore raised over how fair is it to run the projects with international assistance. Investments are made from many organizations through programs including the rule of law and human rights protection system in Nepal. However, none of the organizations have a joint record on how much investments have been made. According to the Law Ministry, there are around a dozen such organizations and their projects in operation. The ministry has also collected data which shows the operation of 7 projects in the judiciary with an investment of more than 160 million foreign aid in an annual basis. The government bodies, however, have not maintained any record in this regard. The budget required in the judiciary is provided by the Nepal government. In addition, the justices and officials also get extra allowance. Seeking financial aid from foreign donors in this context is sure to let the country down. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what would be an appropriate place for the construction of Federal Parliament building? Your options are A, inside Singh Darbar and B, outside Singh Darbar. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A or B and send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. Now we had asked the law businesses of Udaipur, Butwal and Surkhet what they have to say about projects in the judiciary funded by foreign aid. In our Public's Voice segment, let's take a look at what they had to say.
Voice.
वैदेशिक सहयोग हुनै हुन्न त भन्ने त भएन तर पनि अलिकति अप्ठ्यारो पर्ने अवस्था पनि हुन सक्छ
जो पीडितै छैनन् भने पनि उनीहरु चाहिँ पीडित भएर अदालत आइदिने न्यायालयमा आउने र त्यसलाई प्रभाव पार्ने अथवा न्यायालयको दैनिक गतिविधिलाई पनि आफ्नो तरिकाले चाहिँ अगाडि बढाइराखेको देखिन्छ के
अदालत जस्तोमा चाहिँ अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय संस्थाहरु हात हाल्यो भने अदालतले गर्ने क्रियाकलापहरु बाहिर जानु त्यति राम्रो हो किन अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय संस्थाहरु वास्तवमा देशको हितको लागि भन्दा पनि आफ्नो देशको हितको लागि काम गरेर आइराछन्
न्यायालय क्षेत्रभित्र आउने वैदेशिक सहयोगहरूले अलिकता नकारात्मक प्रभाव पनि पारेको छ त्यसो भएको हुनाले यो त सुधार गर्नुपर्छ
कुनै पनि नागरिकले मैले चाहिँ न्याय पाउँछु भनेर अपेक्षा राखेको हुन्छ हैन अब त्यो निकाय नै इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट नभएर अरु कसैसँग सहयोग लिने राष्ट्रिय अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय गैर सरकारी सङ्घ संस्थाबाट सहयोग लिने अवस्थामा पुगेको चाहिँ मलाई त्यति राम्रो लाग्दैन
It's now time for the international update. South Korean President Moon Jae-in informed that North Korea has dropped its long-held demand that the United States withdraw forces from South Korea in exchange for denuclearization. The United States has about 20,000 troops stationed in South Korea, a presence that has long irked North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. However, in the burgeoning spirit of openness and diplomacy, Moon said Kim is willing to give up U.S. troops removal as a precondition for discussions over denuclearizing the Korean peninsula. Moon said that North Korea has expressed willingness to give up its nuclear program without making demand that the U.S. forces withdraw from the Korean peninsula. The South Korean leader due to meet Kim next week for a historic summit in the demilitarized zone, the border separating the two countries, said that the North was concerned about its security. The two Korean leaders prepare to meet next week in what is seen as paving the way for the U.S.-North Korea summit. The concession comes as President Donald Trump insisted he would be willing to leave a highly anticipated summit meeting with Kim should it fall short of its expectations. Now, a company has announced what it's calling the world's first luxury hotel in space. Orinspan made the announcement at the Space 2.0 summit in San Jose, California yesterday, unveiling their plans for Aurora Station. Scheduled to welcome its first guests in 2022, Aurora is a planned modular space station capable of hosting 6 people at a time. The stay does not come cheap. The 12-day adventure costs $9.5 million per person. Orinspan has already started taking reservations with an $80,000 deposit. Before taking off, guests are required to complete a 3-month training course, part online, part at the company's facility in Houston, Texas. According to Orinspan, guests will be able to take part in research experiments such as growing food while in orbit and keep in touch with people on Earth through high-speed internet.
Sports news.
Barcelona are 1 win away from a 25th Spanish league title after Atletico Madrid lost at Real Sociedad by 3-0. Diego Simeone's side were second best throughout and fell behind when Willian Jose turned home a cutback by former Manchester United winger Adnan Zanujaz, giving Real Sociedad a 1-0 lead in the 27th minute. Substitute Yuan Mi made it 2-0 for Real Sociedad in the 80th minute and scored his second goal of the match in stoppage time with a chip to secure Sociedad's 3-0 victory over Atletico Madrid. Barcelona will win the La Liga title with victory at Deportivo La Coruna on 29th of April. Barca finished second last season, 3 points behind rivals Real Madrid. Second place Atletico, who are 12 points behind Barcelona with 5 games remaining, travel to Arsenal in the first leg of their Europa League semi-final on 26th of April. League leaders Barca have 83 points from 33 matches with still 5 matches yet to be played. Atletico are trailing behind with 71 points while third place Real have 68 points. Now, Kings 11 Punjab hand Sunrisers Hyderabad their first loss at the Indian Premier League IPL thanks to an unbeaten blazing century by Chris Gayle. In the match played in Chandigarh last night, Kings 11 Punjab won the toss and elected to bat first. Punjab batted well and posted 193 runs in the allotted 20 overs, losing just 3 wickets. Chris Gayle smashed an unbeaten 104 off 63 balls, which included 1 4 and 11 sixes. Gayle is the first player to score a century in this season's IPL. This is Gayle's 6th century and holds the record for most centuries scored at the IPL. Meanwhile, Karun Nair also contributed 31 runs off 21 balls, which included 3 fours and 1 6. Rashid Khan, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Siddharth Kaul picked up a wicket each for the Sunrisers. Chasing a stiff target of 194 runs for victory, Sunrisers Hyderabad were able to score 178 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in stipulated 20 overs and lost the match by 15 runs. Manish Pandey was the top scorer for Hyderabad, who scored 57 runs off 42 balls. Likewise, Sunrisers skipper Ken Williamson also contributed 54 runs off 41 balls, and Shakil Al Hassan chipped in 24 runs off 12 balls in the losing effort. Mohit Sharma and Andrew Tye grabbed 2 wickets each for Kings 11 Punjab. Tonight's Indian Premier League match features a clash between Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals. Now, world number 1 Rafael Nadal of Spain will be clashing with 5th seed Austrian Dominic Thiem at the quarterfinals of the Monte Carlo Masters. Thiem came from behind yesterday to knock Novak Djokovic of Serbia out of the tournament. Nadal, who needs to win the tournament to stay ahead of Roger Federer at the top of the world rankings, kept on course for his 11th Monte Carlo title with a comfortable 6-3, 6-2 victory over Russian's Karin Khachanov. Nadal lost twice to Thiem on clay last year, but produced an emphatic display to beat the Austrian in straight sets en route to his 10th French Open title. Meanwhile, Dominic Thiem upset Novak Djokovic to sail through the quarterfinals as the former world number 1's troubles continued. Djokovic has not yet reached the last 8 of the tournament since last year's Wimbledon and has struggled with a long-term elbow injury. The Austrian threw away a 5-2 advantage in the first set at Djokovic rode back to take the opener in a tie-break 7-2. But the world number 7 Thiem responded brilliantly to prevail in 3 sets, 6-7, 6-2, 6-3 and book a last 8 clash with Rafael Nadal. Serbian star Djokovic, now ranked 13 in the world and playing in just his 4th tournament this year because of an elbow injury, suffered another defeat against Thiem. A statute proposed by the advisory committee formed by the International Cricket Council (ICC) at the special general meeting of the Suspended Cricket Association of Nepal (CAN) was passed without making any amendments. The special general meeting of the suspended CAN, chaired by its president Chatur Bahadur Chand, endorsed the statute unanimously yesterday. This has eased the process of lifting the suspension of CAN. The special general meeting of CAN, held 8 months back, had included a provision in the statute through which 17 members would have received direct membership for Electoral General Assembly, while 7 officials of the National Sports Council would have been in the General Assembly sans voting rights. CAN officials have agreed to remove the provision after ICC rejected it. This paved the way for the special general meeting. The ICC had already said that it would forward the proposal for lifting the suspension of CAN at its annual general meeting scheduled for July if CAN's statute is amended through the general meeting. ICC had also said that it would provide budget and take the general meeting positively. The National Cricket Governing Body CAN was suspended 2 years ago due to internal disputes. Since then, the ICC has been looking after Nepalese cricket. And that's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.